Good morning everybody, welcome to the workout. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with our feet and knees in line with the hips, and when you look down, the insides of your feet should form straight lines. Okay? What we don't want are toes coming in like this, so this is my toes coming in, and what we don't want is a wide turnout like this either that translates up into the hip. My body weight is evenly placed on my feet. So I'm not leaning onto the front of the balls of my feet, and I'm not leaning back heavily onto the heels of my feet. I'm placing my body weight evenly. Okay, so before we move on, I just want to say, if you've not done a class like this before, if you feel like you can't do something, then you just don't do it. Okay, you rest out that exercise, and I will talk about that more as we go through the class. Okay, and if you've never aligned yourself like what we're doing here at the start of the class, this can feel unusual. So like when I say no toes coming in or no wide turnout of the feet, if you're accustomed to being like this every day in life and I'm telling you to do this, neutral feet, this can feel unusual and you might think this is wrong, but it's not. This is the correct way to align yourself, okay? So the pelvis is the next area of interest, and the hip bones and the pubic bones must be on the same level. So these are your hip bones here. These are the big ones that everyone always places their hands on. It's a nice comfortable position. And then the pubic bones are down where the pubic area is. The hip bones and the pubic bones are on the same level, forming a flat triangle. It's not a rigid structure, okay? So you don't have to get it dead flat. But what we don't want are huge deviations where the pelvis is tucking under or tucking back. All right? The abdominals are gently engaged. So just draw the navel in towards the spine, not hugely, but just like a notch 4, notch 5 on a belt, so you're not really hard in the abdominals. I want you to lift your chest up and gently pinch your shoulder blades together. So imagine that you've got a marble and you're holding that marble between the shoulder blades. What we're trying to counteract is this forward roll of the shoulders where we're normally at when we work at our desk, okay? Your chin is in line with the floor, your eyesight is straight ahead on an imaginary horizon, and the top of your head is lengthening up towards the ceiling. So all of these things we just did, this whole setup, all of these landmarks that I've just talked about, your feet, your knees, your hips, your shoulders pinching together, your chin in line with the floor, your eyesight straight ahead, top of the head lengthening up, all of these things are what constitute alignment, okay? So if we were to drop a plumb line from the ceiling straight down alongside you, we will see all of these landmarks matching up with the plumb line and not deviating from the straight line of the plumb line, all right? When we breathe in deeply, widely, so you push the diaphragm down a bit and you expand through the rib cage. So you breathe in, we'll do that standing up. Do it now, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Now look at me, I'm going to do the wrong thing. When we breathe in, do not do this. You don't need to shrug, okay? So we're going to breathe in, breathing out. Just nice and relaxed. We'll do it again. Breathing in. Expand the rib cage, and as you breathe out, I want you to nod the chin towards the chest and sequentially begin to peel the back and spine away from an imaginary wall behind you. And we're rolling down. So as we roll down, I'm leading with my head. My arms are nice and free. You take a breath in at the bottom. You breathe out, you draw the tummy in gently, and you begin to uncurl the back and spine away from the ground. So we're reversing in a sequential manner as well, from the lower back, the middle back, upper back, the neck and head. When you come back up, you need to reset the shoulders. So don't keep the shoulders here. Pinch the marble. Take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. So we want a nice controlled flowing motion as we go down. We are not rushing, and we're certainly not just flopping over or bowing over. Okay, take a breath in. Breathing out, draw the navel in and begin to reverse the movement. Think about finding your neutral pelvis first and then building up the back and spine upon the neutral pelvis. Your neck and head is the last thing to come up. Take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. So we're just preparing the body for the work ahead.
with these simple roll downs and roll ups. Take a breath in, breathing out, and begin to uncurl coming up. And the thing with the roll down and the roll up is that it gives you an opportunity to think about all of those things we did in the start, aligning the body, because then you've got to find back all of those positions again. Okay, take a breath in, breathing out, nod the chin towards the chest and rolling down. So you're leading with the head, those arms are nice and free. You do not need to grip your legs with your hands. You take a breath in at the bottom, you breathe out, you draw the tummy in, and you start to unfold, and you're thinking alignment of the legs, alignment of the pelvis, building up the back and spine, neck and head is up. Breathing in at the top, breathing out and rolling down. So we keep that going. You know, what we don't want to do is we don't want to get stagnant. We don't want to stop and start looking around, doing a sightseeing tour of our own room. Take a breath in, breathing out and coming up. We want to stay focused, we want to stay in the moment, and we want to be looking a bit inwards at ourselves and what it is we're doing, because then that informs us about where we're feeling our little niggles, right? Take a breath in, breathing out and rolling down. You're going to feel a lot of freedom in certain parts of the body, and then in other parts of the body you feel a lot of restriction. Take a breath in, breathing out, uncurl coming up, and for a lot of people, the restricted areas are the lower back, the hips, the knees, and the neck and shoulders. Take a breath in last time here, breathing out and rolling down. So you want to make sure you're directing some of your energy and some of your breath into those areas that feel restricted, just to loosen them up, because you're about to take part in a class that involves strengthening, alignment, flexibility, and therefore you want to open up those areas, okay? Alright, so we're here, we're just going to do a bit of rotation now. So we're going to take a breath in as we elevate the arms out to the side. So the arms are coming out to the side, they come up, we interlace the fingers behind the head like this. Keeping your hips facing forward, you're going to turn towards the corner of the room. You're going to come back to center. You're going to push your arms up towards the ceiling, bring the arms out to the side and down. It's almost like we're trying to do the mountain pose in yoga, but we're not. We're going to do that later on, in fact. Breathing in, the arms come up, interlace the fingers behind the head. What we're actually doing is the corkscrew. You turn, as you turn, you grow. So try to lengthen your head up towards the ceiling some more. Come back to center, put the arms up, and bring them out to the side. So if you guys look at me, so if you haven't done this class before, or maybe you've not done it for a long time, you've forgotten certain things, just watch me do this because I'm seeing it. When the arms come up like this and we start turning, don't pull your head and start this. There's nothing down there to look at. You're not pulling on your head. You just turn, come back to center, push the arms up, bring them out and down. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Breathing in, the arms come up. We rotate the body towards the corner of the room. So rotation of the back and spine. When we were doing the roll down and roll up, that was flexion and extension of the back and spine. So we're just doing a different plane of motion. And the arms come down. We keep moving. Breathing in, the arms come up. Breathing out, rotation around the core. Keep your hips facing forward. Just imagine that there are headlights on your hips, and your headlights need to keep facing forward, right? Because if they start veering off to the side, you might just drive off the road. Here we go, breathing in, arms come up, breathing out and turn, and as you turn, you grow. So you don't turn and shorten, you turn and grow. You grow taller, you lengthen your head up towards the ceiling, out and down. We'll do two more, everybody. Breathing in, arms come up, and of course, this elevation of the arms to the side, this abduction of the arms to the side. You know, really key to be doing movements like this, using your arms, using your shoulder joints. One more time, breathing in, arms come up, breathing out, and you turn towards the corner of the room. You come back to center, you push the arms up, and you bring it down. So what we'll do now is we'll widen the legs a bit more. Let's get the legs a bit active. Right, so you can see that my feet are not hip width apart anymore. They're not directly underneath my hips, and they're a little bit more than the shoulder width apart. We're going to go down like this as we breathe in for 4 counts. We're going to turn like this. We're going to come back like this. And then we're going to press the air down, push through the soles of the feet to bring us back up into our starting position, okay? So I'm going to do the other side. So we go down, breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Just tilt. So we're doing side bending of the back and spine now, whilst mobilizing the hips and the knees. Come back up and down. So we want gentle movements. Just remember, a nice controlled flowing movement, okay? So coming up. We don't want rushed, hard, sharp, hustled movements. And that's not this class. Come back. That's the one I teach on that extra day of the week, after Sunday, that other day. I teach that class on that day, the hustled class. And tilt. I'm kidding, I don't teach any other class like that. And you bring yourself up. So make sure your knees follow your feet and that you're not tilting off to one side. So when you go down, everything stays centered, everything stays even, and you tilt. So you're there, you're controlling your own body. So you must know what feels balanced and what feels unbalanced. So just do a balanced movement that is centered, and just work with your abilities. If you've not done a class like this before, okay, you're not going to be able to do everything that I do perfectly. And there's no such thing as perfect, but you get the point I'm making, is that I've got the ability to do it, obviously I'm the teacher. But you start slow, you start small, and with every class you build from there. Going down and tilt. Come up, press the air down, I think it's the one more, and going down and tilt. I started on the other side, so I'm going to end on this side. Come up and press it down. Okay, so you can walk the legs in like this. I'm going to step to one end of my mat, here everyone. I'm going to bring my feet together. Alright, so you can watch me do this first before you do it, and that's always a good thing to do if you've never done a class like this. Always look at the instructor first, and then you can get involved after that. So I'm going to bring the arms up. I'm going to bring them into a mountain pose. Mountain pose is the hands come together, so my hands are like this. At the top, if I step back a bit, you'll see that. And then I'm lifting my chest and my face up towards the ceiling. I'm just going to come back onto my mat. I'll show you that now. Then I'm going to swan dive over. So swan dive, my back stays flat as I start coming over like this. I go into that forward fold, so I drop my head. If you're not very flexible through your lower back, you can bend the knees a bit. Now I want you to do a half lift. A half lift is where you extend your back and spine so you get it straight. So instead of being in flexion like this, what you want to do now, look at me emphasizing this, I lift my back into a neutral position like this. I come over, place your hands down on the ground, place your right leg back, place your left leg back. Now listen up, look at me. I want you to lower yourself down without lying down. So you lower yourself down. Okay, you uncurl the toes and you push yourself up like this. Curl the toes behind you now, and you're going to push yourself up into downward dog, like this. Once we've held that position, we're just going to step the right leg in. We're going to step the left leg in. We're going to do that fold over. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to bring the arms out to the side. We're going to come up into mountain pose and bring the arms down. Alright, so I'm going to do that again. You're going to join in. Alright, so looking ahead at your horizon, your legs are together, your inner thighs are connected. We're going to elevate the arms up, bring them into a clasped prayer position. Look up with the face and the chest. Now start bringing the arms out to the side, dive over, keeping a neutral back and spine as much as you can. Dive over, dive over, dive over. Do a half lift towards the wall in front of you. Look at the wall with the face and chest. Fold over, place your hands on the ground. Take one leg back, take the other leg back. Lower yourself without lying down. If you need to lie down, but you lower yourself down. Uncurl the toes behind you and push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. If you look at my neck, you can see the length of my neck. I am not shrugging into my shoulders like this. I don't want to see this. So we're here. Good. Now you're going to curl the toes behind you and you're going to push yourself up into downward dog. So in downward dog,
I want the sit bones, your sit bones are going up towards the ceiling. You're drawing the tummy in, and you're in an inverted position with your body, inverted V position with your body. Your head is in between your arms. You're pressing the heels of your feet down towards the ground. So I'm not here. So when I look at the screens, if I see you more like you're kind of in a plank position, plank is plank. That is a position. I'm in downward dog. I'm in an upside down V position. So that's what I'm looking for. So therefore you need to put the hips back and be more like this. Okay, this is downward facing dog. All right, you contract through the front of the thighs to engage with those knees. And listen, you don't have to stay here. If you find it really difficult, you can put the knees down, take a little bit of rest, and then you come back up into this position here. So I'm going to help you guys out now. You're going to take a breath in. To bring the legs back, I just want you to walk your legs in towards your hands. Drop over into the forward fold, into that front fold. Bring the arms out to the side. Bend the knees, coming up and down with the arms. Everything we do on the right, we do on the left now. So arms come up, clasp the hands, look up in that mountain pose. I want you to fold over now, so long back and spine as you fold over. Do it, I'm watching you. Come over, good. Collapse over completely. Lift the face and chest towards the wall. Put your hands on the ground. Take the left leg back. Take the right leg back. So we're here. Lower yourself towards the ground. Stay there for a sec. You're holding it. You're not lying down. I want you to uncurl the toes now and push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. So we're here. So from here, everyone, uncurl the toes and push yourself up into downward facing dog. Press the heels down and hold. Your head is in between the arms. So remember, if you're in downward dog, you're not in plank. Downward dog is an inverted V position. Plank is plank, downward dog is downward dog. So the hips are up, you've rotated around your shoulder joints. Your head is in between your arms like mine is, and the neck is nice and free. Keep breathing, keep lifting through the kneecaps. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to walk your left leg and right leg, walk it in towards your hands. Stay in the fold over. Bend the knees, breathe in as you bring the arms out to the side. Come up and bring them around and down. Okay, so we've done both sides, right and left. We're going to do it again. I'm not going to add anything else in. You know what you're doing now. Let's give it another go, just so that it's in the body and you feel like, okay, I can achieve this now. Okay, so here we go. Breathing in, bring the arms up. Clasp the hands, look up into that mountain pose. Dive over with a flat back, so you're diving over, keeping the length through the back, coming over into the front fold. Now, half lift, look at the wall with the face and chest. Collapse over. Place your hands on the ground, place the right leg back, place the left leg back. Lower yourself and hover just here. So try not to lie down. So just lower yourself and not lying down on the ground. If you need to lie down, then lie down. But this is what we're doing. Push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. So we're here now. My hips are off the ground. Less intense. Just put your legs on the ground. Okay. Try not to shrug. Push yourself up into downward dog and hold. So the sit bones are going up towards the ceiling. If you come out of it, that's fine. You just put the knees on the ground, you have a little bit of a rest, and then you put yourself back up into the position. And you know, that's okay, because if you've not done a class like this before, you're going to find all of these positions, quite challenging, holding your body weight, using your arm strength,
all of these sort of things get challenged in these positions. But the more you do it, the more flexible you become, the more strengthened you become, the more in tune with the exercises you become, and it becomes easier. Okay, so from here I'm going to walk the right leg and then left leg in towards the hand. You can bend your knees to bring them in, that's fine. Stay in the forward fold. Now as you bend your knees, you breathe in, you bring the arms out to the side, you come up, you bring them around to the front. Okay, so we start again, we go, breathing in, arms come up, clasp the hands at the top, look up into that mountain pose, fold over now everyone, collapse, collapse, lift the face and chest towards the wall, bring the hands down to the mat, take the left leg back, take the right leg back, lower yourself towards the ground like this. Uncurl the toes and then push yourself up into, so your feet are flat on the ground now, into extension of the back and spine. So it means you've got a lovely backward C shape. Keep the neck centered. From here, curl the toes behind you and push yourself up into downward dog. So we're now here. Push the sit bones towards the ceiling. Engage through the front of the thighs. Draw the tummy in. Your head is in between the arms. If you take a rest, that's okay to take a rest. You just come back into the position, but try to stay on the mat as much as possible. Keep the length through your back, so you don't want to be rounding your back in this position. That goes against the exercise. You know, you round your back every day when you do stuff in life. You don't want to come into a class like this and be rounding the back more when you're meant to be just keeping a neutral back and spine. From here, take a breath in, breathe out. I want you to walk your left leg and right leg in towards your hands. Stay in the fold over position like this. Bend the knees, bring the arms out to the side, come up and down into the prayer position. Okay, so we're going to do it again, but I'll just add on a little bit extra stuff for the next one. So remember, your feet are together. Here we go, breathing in, arms come up into the mountain pose. Lift your face and chest up towards that ceiling. I want you to dive over with a flat back. So you're going over, collapse at the last second. Lift the face and chest towards the wall, neutral back and spine. Collapse over, place your hands on the ground, take the left leg back, take the right leg back. I want you to lower yourself towards the ground. Hover. So we're here. If you can't hold this position, so it's down, you put your legs on the ground. So I want you to uncurl the toes and push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. So we're here. Try not to push into your shoulders. Look at me. Look at me. It's not this. I'm not shrugging like this. You have to lengthen out of your joints, please. Don't sit into your joints. Curl the toes behind you and push yourself up into your downward facing dog. Your hips are high. The abdominals are drawing up. I'm contracting through the front of my thighs to get my kneecaps lifting upwards. Press the heels down towards the ground and do not hold your breath. So I started with my left leg, so I'm going to take a breath in. On the out breath, I'm going to walk my legs in towards my hands. Stay folded over. Bring the arms out, bend the knees, bring the arms out to the side. As you breathe in, bring the arms up and around to the prayer position. So I'm going to say that again. I started with my left leg, so when I get down, I'm going to use my right leg. If you started with your right leg when you get down, use your left leg, okay? Here we go, breathing in. Arms come up. Dive over, flat back. Flat back, flat back, flat back. Do a half lift, so look towards the wall with face and chest. Good. Coming down. I'm placing my right leg back. You choose which leg you're going to go with. Other leg back. Lower yourself towards the ground. So you're coming down like this. And I'm just hovering. Some of you, you're going to lower yourself and you're going to just place your legs down on the ground. Okay? Uncurl the toes and push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. So we're here. So it's just a backward C shape. Curl the toes behind you and push yourself up into downward facing dog. Press the heels of the feet down. Your head is in between your arms. Keep the neck centered. Take a breath in, breathe out. I'm walking my right leg first to walk the legs in towards the hands. Collapse over completely, so drop the head and neck. Bend the knees, bring the arms out to the side as you breathe in, up and around into that prayer position. Right, so just take a moment just to gather yourself, think about your alignment, where you are in the space. You can even look at your screens and you can see yourself from the side and it tells you exactly what you're doing. Here we go, breathing in, arms come up, clasp them at the top, look up with the face and chest towards the ceiling. Now arms come out to the side, dive over with a flat back, dive, 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 dive. Coming down, lift the face and chest into the half lift. Collapse over, hands on the ground, place one leg back, place the other leg back, lower yourself towards the ground, hover. Uncurl the toes, push yourself up into your extended position like this. Try not to shrug, lengthen out of yourself. Try to look at my back, try to get that backward C shape. So if I look at your back and I see it looking fairly flat, it tells me you're not aiming to get extension of the spine, you're just holding a neutral back. Just trying to come back into that C shape. Curl the toes, push yourself up into downward dog. So if you're not accustomed to doing the class, I want you to stay here. When I give the next instruction, I want you to stay here. So if you're not accustomed to doing a class like this, when I give the next instruction, you stay here. Everyone, you're going to take a breath in, you're going to lift your leg up. I'm going to bend at the knee and I'm going to turn my hips out like this. So I'm turning the hip back. I'll demonstrate on the other side again in the next one. And then you're going to take that leg, you're going to bring it, you're going to put the knee through. So now everyone does this bit. You put the knee through. So my knee is in between my hands like this. This leg stays extended behind me. And then you're going to bring your hands down like this and hold this position here. So I've got I've made some fists with my hands and I've got my head on my fists. So this other leg on the ground stays long behind you. Because I've made some fists with my hands, I can maintain the length through my back and spine, and I want you guys to do the same thing too. So what you don't want to do is to lie down there and promote a massive rounding of the back. You want to just try and keep the length. You do have another option, which is to just put your hands on the ground
and bring yourself up like this. You might find that you like this position a bit more, like this, and you hold. What we really want is that lovely figure of 4, that figure 4 through that leg that's underneath you. So you're like this and holding. What you're not doing is having the leg directly underneath you like this. This is nothing's going on there. Okay, so you want to turn that leg out. You want to sit down onto it and just hold that position there. Take a breath in, so whichever position you're in, just move the hands away. Curl the toe behind you, push the leg out, push the hips up into downward dog. And now, with the leg you're working with, start walking towards your hands. Start walking towards your hands like this. Fold over deeply. Bend the knees as you breathe in. Bring the arms out to the side. Bring them up. Bring them around into the prayer position. Okay, we've got to do the same thing on the other leg now. So here we go. Breathing in. Arms come up into that mountain pose. Look up with the face and chest. Begin to dive over with a flat back. So you're coming over, 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 over. Do a half lift, everybody. Look at the wall with your face and chest. Collapse over. Place one leg back. Place the other leg back. And gently begin to lower yourself towards the ground and hover. So we're here. If you don't want to hover, place your legs on the ground. Uncurl the toes and push yourself up into extension of the back and spine. From here, curl the toes and push yourself up into downward facing dog. Press the heels down towards the ground. Draw the navel in, so you want to be lifting through the abdominals. Your head is in between the arms. So if you have a rest, that's fine, but try to come back into the position. So this is the only way you get the postures and the movement and everything else that the exercise gives you. The only way you're going to get it in the body is if you give it a good go. Now, if you don't do the class regularly, stay here. Otherwise, you breathe in, you take the leg up. Look at me do this. You bend the knee, and I'm turning my hip open towards you, like that. Then I take that leg, I bring it in between my hands like this. I keep the other leg long behind me. So the other leg, if you look at my leg behind me, I'm pointing at it, it stays straight behind me, and I bring myself into this position here. Keep the length through your back, and do not forget my other option. If you don't want to place your hands, your head on your hands, you can bring yourself up into this position like this and hold. The leg that's underneath you is forming a figure 4. I'm going to go into the other position because in the first round I did the lifted position with my body. So I'm going to come down here and join everyone else who's doing this position here. Take a breath in
As you breathe out, place your hands by the shoulder joints, curl the toes behind you. I want you to push yourself away from the mat, push the leg out, and push yourself up into downward dog. So we're here. Make sure the hips are up, you're inverted, you're not planking. You should be rotating around your shoulder joints to get into that inverted position. And now you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to walk your feet in towards your hands. Walk them in, walk them in, walk them in. Good, bend the knees as you breathe in. Bring the arms up, standing up, standing up. Bring the arms around into the prayer position, like this. Okay, and just relax the arms down. Alright, so from here everyone, we're going to place one leg down. We're going to place the other leg down, and we're going to turn ourselves around, and we're going to lie on the mat. So we're finished with those salutations. It is quite tough if this is not a class that you regularly do. Most movements that you do are going to be quite tough until you have these kind of movements in your body, okay? So to get yourself into the aligned position, lying on your back like this, bring the legs together, spread the toes, spread the heels, and that should bring your feet and knees in line with your hips. Neutral pelvis, once again everyone, hip bones and pubic bones on the same level. Lengthen your back and spine on the mat. There should be that natural curve under your lower back, so just be mindful of this, please. Gently drop the chin towards the chest, and we're going to do some spine curls, just to open up the hips and to mobilize the back and spine again, and then I'm going to move swiftly on to something else. You're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, look at me first. You tilt the pelvis back, and you begin to peel the back and spine away from the mat, coming up into your bridge position. So at the top, my knees, my hips and shoulder joints form a straight line. I want to emphasize that I am articulating my back and spine. I didn't just lift my hips up in one big sweeping move. I take a breath in, look at me do this from the top. So I've just brought my t-shirt in, look. As I breathe out, I begin to place each part of my back and spine back down on the ground. So I'm placing each vertebrae onto the mat. So I'm coming down, and then I come back to the neutral pelvis where my hip bones and pubic bones are on the same level. Okay, so I take a breath in. As I breathe out, I tilt my pelvis back and I begin to peel my back and spine away from the mat, coming up. I'm pressing into my feet. I'm contracting my butt muscles. I'm contracting my abdominal muscles. I take a breath in at the top, and as I breathe out, I begin to place my back and spine back down bit by bit. So you're lengthening your spine onto the mat like a bead of pearls on sand. Take a breath in here, everyone at the bottom. So neutral pelvis, breathing out. Tilt the pelvis back and begin to peel the back and spine away from the mat. A nice flowing, a nice controlled movement. Take a breath in at the top. Breathing out, and we begin to go back down. Especially think about your lower back. Don't override the lower back. Take a breath in here. Breathing out, tilting back the pelvis and peel the back and spine away from the mat. Coming up, make sure at the top you are on your shoulder blades. You are not pressing into your neck. Take a breath in here. Breathing out and begin to go back down with the back and spine. We'll do one more now, everyone. Breathing in, breathing out and going back. So you're allowing the out breath to last the entire journey up with the hips. You take a breath here, and as you breathe out, you're allowing the out breath to last the entire journey down as you place your back and spine back down bit by bit. Okay, I want you now to roll onto your side and bring yourselves up into sitting down. I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that you're sitting down. Everyone likes a good sit down. Right, so as you sit down there, I want you to lengthen through your back and spine as much as possible. If you're not very flexible, you're going to sit down and you're going to sit like this. That's normal. Everyone does that. So sit up as much as you can, and I want you to Just lean back a bit, pull your leg in, and then draw this leg right in towards you, like this, and hug the leg. As you hug the leg, guys, I want you to think of keeping the length through your back and spine and opening up the chest. So when you hug the leg, it's quite easy to hug the leg and round your back, because you're hugging something, right? And every time we hug something, we round our back, whether it's a child, a teddy bear, I don't know what else you guys hug out there, but I want you to hug and lengthen the back and spine as much as possible and keep the chest open. Okay? Breathe. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Gently release the leg. Push the leg out. I want you to lean back a little bit, like me. Lean back. Bring this leg in. Bring it in. It's easier to lean back and bring it in. And now hug the other leg. And at the same time, lengthen the back and spine as you hug the leg, but keep the chest open. So don't round your chest. Lift the chest up, keep the chest open. So this is just to loosen up the hips, everyone, just so you know. Take a breath in, breathe out, release the leg. Okay, so you're going to now bring this leg in like this, keeping the back long still. You're going to take this hand, you're going to put it here, and you're going to turn and look back like this. So we're going in the same direction. So I just want to turn myself around, that way I can continue using the correct leg. So you bring this leg in, you put this hand on the inside of the leg, inside. So my left leg, left arm. Can you see that? My knee is up towards the ceiling, and then I'm turning that way like that. Like this. Look over the shoulder. So this is, we're not doing opposites. We normally do opposites. In my class, we go like this. But what I'm doing is same side today, like this. And look over. Keep the length through the back and spine. So if I see you sitting like this, I know you're not working hard enough to lengthen up as much as possible. So lengthen. And I want you to just use your arm to gently push the leg away, but resist your leg with your leg. Resist opening the leg. Take a breath in, breathing out, and gently come back. Push the leg out, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to just turn myself back around this way. Bring the leg in, put the other hand here, and now turn away. Take a breath in, everyone, breathe out, come back to center. Bring yourself back. Good. Now what I want you to do is bring the base of your feet together, the soles of your feet together. Bring them in towards you. Keep the length through your back and spine. So I'm sitting here, but you can tell if I'm rounded. I'm not like this. Look, this is me rounding my back. This is me lengthening out of my back, and I'm bringing my hips and my feet near to each other. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, so if you're not very flexible, obviously your feet are going to be somewhere out here. I get that. But the aim is to keep the length through the back and spine and to draw your hips and your feet near to each other whilst keeping that length through the back and spine. And stay there. Breathe.
So the whole idea, the whole thing about this exercise is to hip flexibility. So if you are sitting there comfortably, you need to just work a bit more by bringing those feet towards your pelvis. That way you can create that. Don't force anything, but you're just trying to create flexibility. So if you don't feel like you're stretching, you need to just work a bit harder here, okay? Take a breath in, breathe out. I want you to bring the legs together, push them out. Just push them out like this, just shake yourself out, just relax the lower back. Now you're going to fold the legs. So I brought my legs into the folded position, like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lengthen out like this. So if I turn sideways, just so you can see what I look like from the side. So I've folded my legs, and then I'm just going to reach out as much as I can, like this. Keep reaching forward, keep breathing. So you breathe deeply to the base of the spine, and then you release the breath from the base of the spine. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to uncurl away. So I want you to take note of which leg is at the bottom. And I want you to swap over. So you push the legs out and you swap the legs over, which is what I've done here. Good. And now I'm going to reach forward again. So this is just all easy stuff here. I'm going to add some other things in a second. Just make sure you're reaching forward in that position as much as possible. So take a breath in, breathing out and coming up. So we're going to swap the legs again, but this time, everyone, so if you can't do what I'm about to do now, you just, you do what we're doing just now. You just fold your legs normally, but otherwise you're going to bring this foot in now. So I've got this foot, my right foot, in towards my left hip. So that's different. That's different to just folding the legs like this. So this is me. I've just folded my legs and, you know, let's say when you go for a picnic in the park, you could do this easily and you sit down and you eat and drink with your friends. This is different, pulling the hip in like this. I want you now to lean so I used my right leg, so I'm leaning my right shoulder towards my right leg like this, and then I'm going to reach up with this arm like that. So I'm reaching up with my arm towards the ceiling like this. So I'm going to start again. I folded my right leg, so my right foot is in my left hip. Okay, and then I took my right shoulder towards my right knee, and you don't have to get the shoulder on the knee, you're just going towards it, and then you're lifting this arm up like this. So you're reaching the arm up towards the ceiling. Keep your hips on the ground. Try to lengthen out through your left back, your left lower back. You're lengthening out of the left lower back.
Take a breath in, breathing out, bring the arm down and bring yourself back up. So if you look at me here, 1 second guys, so I said make sure lengthening, I went to my right. So if I'm at my right, I'm flexed here, but here, my left lower back is what's stretching. So when I say lengthen out of your left lower back, it makes sense. Here is where it's lengthening, there is where you should be stretching from, okay? So we're going to push the legs away from us into just straight out in front of us like this. Just relax the legs out. Good. Now we're going to bring them back in, but we're going to fold the other leg in. So my left foot is now in my right hip, like this. I then lean my left shoulder towards my left knee, and then I bring my arm up like that. Now you're lengthening out of your right lower back. So think about your back, your lower back. Think about getting that stretch out of the right lower back. I'm leaning towards my left knee. Take a breath in, breathing out, bring the arm down. Push the legs away from you, so you need to outstretch the legs out. Bend the knees, come around and take yourself into the resting pose here. So just relax those hips. So you're back here, relax the lower back and just breathe. You breathe in all the way down to the base of the spine, everyone. So for those of you who don't do the class regularly, it's not just a little breath into the neck or into the top of the chest. You're breathing deeply down to the base of the spine, using the breath to open up all of those spaces. And then you're breathing out from the base of the spine. Take a breath in, breathing out, come into the box position now. So in the box position, your wrists are under your shoulder joints, your knees are under your hip joints, just like I am. Your back is in the neutral position, and we are going to thread the needle. So if you're not accustomed to doing this class, once again, you look at me do it first. You take a breath in, you pick up the arm, you breathe out, you move the arm through the space. And as I'm moving the arm through the space, I keep the arm near the ground and I rotate my back and spine. So you look at me first, you stay here, you take a breath in, you breathe out as you draw the tummy in and you start to come back, gently pressing into the arm that's on the ground, the other arm, and you come back to your starting position. My back is in the neutral position, in the starting position. You've got to find this position first before you do the other side. You take a breath in, you pick the arm up, you breathe out. You rotate the back and spine. Keep the length through the back and spine as you're rotating there, please. Take a breath in, breathing out, press into your arm and bring yourself up into the box position. I'm looking for a lovely rotation of the back and spine. You take a breath in, pick the arm up, breathe out and turn. So really release the back with that rotation moment. Take a breath in, breathing out and coming back, and just think about engaging with those abdominals. Breathing in, breathing out, going the other way. Breathing in here, breathing out and coming up. Good. Breathing in, pick the arm up, breathing out and turn. So we push the arm through, keep the arm near the ground, but you turn, you rotate your back and spine.
Take a breath in here, breathing out, and coming up. You come back to the neutral back and spine. Take a breath in, breathing out and going through. So you've got to think about that rotation and come back. You're not just placing the arm on the ground in between that space. You have to think about turning the back and spine as well, okay? We'll do 2 more. Take a breath in, breathing out, pick the arm up. And if you're quite restricted, you're going to find just doing that rotation is quite hard. So don't force anything, but get a rotation going. Take a breath in, breathing out, draw the tummy in, and coming back to the center. And look, there are a lot of other reasons why you might find turning difficult. I don't want to go into them. Take a breath in, breathing out, and turn. But you know, it's not just about flexibility, it's about other aspects of the body. Take a breath in here, breathing out, and bring yourself back to center. Okay, you're going to go back into the resting position like this, arms outstretched. So we don't need to focus on doing any extension at this part of the class because you did extension with the salutations at the top of the class. We then focused on opening up the hips. Take a breath in here, everyone. Coming up into the box position. I want you to curl the toes behind you. And then you walk yourself back onto the balls of your feet. Take a breath in. Breathing out. Press the heels down towards the ground. Push your hips up. Stay inverted like this. Stay folded over. Take another breath in. Breathing out. Draw the navel in and begin to uncurl away from the ground. Sequentially uncurling like we did at the start. Your neck and head is the last thing up. Okay. Turn towards the front of the room, everyone. Standing in your aligned posture. We're going to use the arms. We're going to breathe. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out. One more time. Breathing in, reaching up, up, up. And breathing out and down. Guys, give yourselves a clap. Well done for your work today. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys in another class. Goodbye.